Over the last 2 years, I've enjoyed meeting students and staff and talking to as many members of the university as possible. I've communicated through email and through blog, and for the first time I'm going to try an end-of-term video message, so we'll see how it goes. What I want to cover are things that have gone well this year and what some of our priorities are for the academic year ahead. For the very first time this year, we've had a strategic plan that lays out the vision and ambition for the university. This, as some of you will know, is not a plan that I've written, it's a plan that has involved the engagement of staff and students across the university. Underpinning that plan, we now have strategies for our key thematic areas: education, research and knowledge exchange, and internationalisation. And importantly, every faculty and every professional services also has a plan. And what we're going to be doing over the next few months is putting all this together so we have a complete strategic plan for the whole university, which tells us where we're going. Now we know where we're going, and I accept we have to share a little bit more about that direction of travel. The key focus has to be on delivery, because it's delivering that plan that will make a difference to our future prospects. When we think about our future prospects and we ask the question, what is the most important thing? To my mind, it is students. Students are absolutely vital to the success of the university. Without students, we would not survive, and without delivering quality education to students, we wouldn't be in the strong position that we find ourselves in. The fact that we got a silver award in the first Teaching Excellence Framework means that, compared with national benchmarks, we are delivering excellent quality education to our students. I was really pleased and proud of the fact we got silver, and as you'll know, if you've read my blog, I am ambitious to get gold. Now, I believe getting a gold TEF award is achievable, but there's a lot of work that we've all got to do in order to get ourselves there. And to my mind, the two most important elements to focus on are progression and employability. So why are these things important? Progression is important because it's about ambition. If we raise the level of ambition in our students, we encourage them to come here, they start to study with us, we are letting them down if they cannot complete their courses. And similarly, if they cannot enter a job that requires a degree at the end of their programme, again, they are not achieving their potential. So I think for us to fulfil our potential, we need all our students to fulfil their potential, which means A, they've got to progress through their courses, and B, they've got to get jobs that require a degree. And I think that's why I say students are vital to our success. This is something that involves everybody. And you may have heard me say before that every single interaction with students matters, and every single interaction with students makes a difference. Not just for academic staff, but professional services staff and support staff. So here's an area where we can all make a difference and operate as one university. When we think about universities, sure, education and teaching are a big part of what we do, but to my mind, what makes us different is that we do research, and research is fundamental to the lifeblood of a university. And we've worked quite hard over the last 12 to 18 months to embed research and to improve the quality and volume of what we're doing. And I'm really heartened that we can now see some green shoots. If we look at, for example, the number of publications, the number of articles that we produce, if we look at the number of grant applications that we're making for external funding, if we look at the value of those applications and the success of those applications, we can see uplifts already of between 5 and 10% in those key metrics. That's great. The strategy that we have is about focusing around strengths so we can create critical mass, and the new research and knowledge exchange centres that we're about to launch also play to that approach. They are around our strong areas, and by building around our strong areas, we will create distinctiveness. And I'll come back to the importance of distinctiveness a little bit later on. So in doing all these things, they don't just happen naturally, they happen because people play a significant part in delivering these successes. But to maximise the chance that we're successful, we need to invest. And I want to say a few words now about investment. Often, when Vice-Chancellors talk about investment, people think they mean buildings. And sure, we're going to be investing in buildings. We're going to have some new buildings in the Arts and Humanities part of the institution, a new Arts and Media building, and a new screen school. The idea of the screen school is that we bring together creative and digital expertise to produce material that can be used on anything that involves a screen. Like, for example, the screens you're using to look at me now, watches, portable devices on clothing, absolutely anything. The great thing about the Screen School is that first, we're doing it because we're responding to market demand for training courses in digital and creative media. And secondly, we've actually managed to raise half the money for the Screen School from external funding. This speaks to the quality and need for what we're doing. And I think, the more we can do things where someone's prepared to pitch in and say, there you go, we'll put this in, and the university can say, and we'll put this in and match it, I think that has to be the way forward, because that means we're doing things where somebody else wants to co-invest to deliver shared outcomes. So yes, we're investing in buildings, but buildings are just a small part of it. We're investing directly in people. When I arrived here a couple of years back, I was surprised that we had a professoriate that numbered about 65. And the professors are important because the professors are the academic leaders, the intellectual leaders of the university. And I'm pleased to say that over the last 2 years, we've grown the size of the professoriate by 64%. We've appointed 28 new professors and we've promoted 16 colleagues to chairs over the last 2 years. And whilst the majority of those promotions and appointments are based on research expertise, we now have a number of professors who have made it to the top of their academic discipline by virtue of the excellent teaching and innovation they do in the education space, and also through their work on knowledge exchange. So excellence in whatever shape or form it takes in the academic sphere can be rewarded by promotion to a chair. And I look forward to seeing more colleagues becoming promoted to chairs on the basis of not just excellent research, but also strong knowledge exchange and strong and innovative teaching. That's really important. We're also investing in systems, and the most significant system we're investing in is building a new student system that effectively will be a one-stop shop for students to use, that will capture everything from the minute they apply to come here through their journey and their time with us to post-graduation when they become an alumnus of this institution. So we'll be able to track students throughout the entirety of their journey, and students will be able to use that system to understand how they're progressing. All their information will be stored in one place. They can modify the information. It'll be a much more self-service based system, and staff will be able to use that system to, I think, to deliver and enhance the quality of the student experience. So it's going to be a sector-leading model that we're going to have here, and I'm convinced that it will add significantly to the great things that we've already got: personalised timetables and a lot of personalised stuff that we now do with students, because students are used to a personalised experience. In fact, we're all becoming much more used to a personalised experience, and the more that we can make sure that for each and every one of our 38,000 students that they get some form of personalised experience and they know that they matter, I think the more satisfied our students will be with the educational journey that they enjoy whilst they're with us. We're also investing in a number of other initiatives across the faculties, and in every faculty we've invested collectively over £9 million to support new projects. These projects often have a research base at their heart, again focusing around our strengths, but some of them are about delivering innovative teaching, and we're expecting to spend between £2 and £3 million in this coming academic year on education projects, and also around some of our key initiatives. So for example, the Screen School would fall under that remit. So I started out talking about the strategic plan, and the key thing about our strategy is not just what we're doing, but how we're doing it, the way that we deliver, and the 5 pillars that some of you, I hope, will have heard me talk about previously. Just to remind you, these 5 pillars are place, Manchester; ambition for our students and for ourselves; partnership, the keystone of our pillars; and then sustainability, and then community. Now I want to say a few words about partnership, because we've made significant progress with some of our partnerships this year. I'm really excited by the partnership that we have with Pearson to deliver jointly online international postgraduate masters programs. This allows us to break into a new market and deliver education using alternative delivery modes other than just attendance-based education. And I think this is a really important direction of travel for us in the future, and I think we'll see much more of that. The second partnership that I'm very proud of is our very strong relationship with the Students' Union. You may not all be aware, but I meet fortnightly with the President of the Students' Union, and my executive meets quarterly with the Students' Union executive. The more that we can work together, the more that we can have a unified agenda, the more powerfully we'll be able to deliver for the university. Many universities have good relationships with student unions. I believe we've got a great one, and I'll do my utmost to ensure that we always have very strong relationships with our students. Listening to the student voice and empowering the student voice is important for the success of the university. The third partnership, which has not yet materialised, but I'm very excited about, is around sport. Some of you may have read that we're hoping to have a physical presence on the Etihad campus in East Manchester, and working with Manchester City Football Club, the City Football Group and the City Council, we're hoping to be able to establish a new department of sport and exercise sciences, and from there work in a number of cognate areas, for example physiotherapy, rehabilitation science, biomedical science, sports leadership and management through the business school, to deliver a whole suite of demand-led sports programs at undergraduate, postgraduate taught and research level too. And if we can pull that off, it will be a tremendously exciting achievement with recognition at the global level. So there are three examples of how partnership allows us to do things that would otherwise be much more challenging. I mentioned the city a few minutes back, and that's really important to us because I think it continues to provide opportunities for students and for staff. Many of our students do projects with partners in the city, which means they get experience of working in business, in industry, which means they're better prepared for the world of work. And many of our researchers use the city as a microcosm, for example, the Institute of Place Management in the business school. Here there are fantastic opportunities that not every university will have. These are things that make a difference. These are areas where we are distinctive. It would of course be remiss of me not to make mention of the closure of the Cheshire campus. You'll know this is a decision that the Board of Governors took following a year-long external independent review, and the decision was taken in order to protect the long-term sustainability of our university. The focus now has to be on colleagues who work at the campus and students who are studying at the campus. We're committed, working with the Students' Union, to ensuring the best possible experience for those students. It's important that their remaining time with us is productive, enjoyable, and that they end up in good graduate jobs. That matters. It's also important that we do all we can to ensure the best possible outcomes for staff, recognising that we won't have jobs for everybody, but where there are jobs, we'll do our utmost to ensure that Cheshire staff stand the best possible chance of securing those positions. This is something, as you know, I regret deeply, but it's a tough decision and one that we had to take, as I say, for the long-term interests of the university as a whole. Talking about universities and broadening out a little bit more and thinking about the national context, you don't need me to tell you that never a week goes by without there being some media or press interest in universities. The level of scrutiny I don't think has ever been as acute as it is at the moment. I think a lot of this has to do with value for money, and it's important that we can demonstrate excellent value for money for our students so that they feel that coming to university is a worthwhile endeavour and a worthwhile investment for them, and that the public also sees the benefits that come from having vibrant and thriving universities. There needs to be clear benefit to society, benefit to the economy, benefit to industry, and benefit to communities. And I think that's a significant challenge for all institutions, but I'm confident that we can do as well as anybody can in that regard. And again, it comes back to those pillars: Manchester, ambition, partnership, community, where there are great things going on, and sustainability. I'm confident about our future. I really am, for those 5 reasons that I give, things that we do that are distinctive. And I also think that we can play to a number of important government, both local and national agendas actually. The industrial strategy, a lot of the applied work that we do is absolutely right for the industrial strategy. The devolution of the health and social care budget, enormous opportunities for us here. And the fact that the creative industries are so strong and growing so powerfully in Manchester at the moment, again in partnership with others, another great area where we can make a real difference. So one of the questions that I'm most frequently asked is, what are we doing, where are we going, and what is special about our university? And I guess I would answer that in three ways. And these three ways relate to my priorities and the things that I think are important. So the first has to be about performance. We need to make sure that we can improve the basic quality of the education, the teaching and learning, and the research that we do. It's always important to focus on driving up quality. And in a market which is very tough and very competitive, quality will be the key driver that makes people choose us as their destination of choice rather than some other university. So my first priority is about performance. In order to get that performance, we need people, and people are the second priority. So it's about ensuring that the strong people that we have can do even better. It's about ensuring that we can attract great people to come and join us. So developing colleagues and appointing strong colleagues is important. And the third priority, noting that these are not 1, 2, 3, but equal first really. The third priority is about profile, because I still believe not enough people can talk about something which is strongly distinctive about our university. It's one thing for me to go out there and tell them, but what I really want is people to come in, look at what we're doing and go away and tell a powerful story about something which has impressed them, something which is special, something which is distinctive, something which is strong about our university and why it matters. So those three things together, performance, people and profile, those are the things that I think should be priorities for us next year, and those are the things that I think are most likely to make a real difference. So I'm reaching the final few minutes now of this video blog. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed thinking about what to say. I remain hugely proud and privileged to be the Vice-Chancellor of this institution. Just so you know, I'm filming this in the middle of our degree ceremonies, so the importance of the students and the excitement of those students that they graduate is at the forefront of my mind. And as I've shaken their hands, they are really excited about what they have to look forward to. And I'm excited about what I have to look forward to, and I hope you're excited about what you look forward to, what you can look forward to as we move in what is a really exciting adventure for this university in this city. Thank you for listening. I wish you a really successful and enjoyable 2017-2018. I hope you have a good break over the summer.